Good afternoon, everyone. I'm R.C. Davis Indiano. I'm the Executive Director of the World Literature Today organization, and you all have showed up for the Neustadt Lit Fest, which each fall at OU is the premier event in the humanities. This is a really big deal, and I'll even add that what we say here today and what we say here all week is going to be echoed around the world because the Neustadt prizes are famous everywhere. This is a conference, but also a celebration of literature and culture from around the world. I especially want to welcome the students attending this event, as well as students taking part. If you're a student at OU or a student from anywhere, could you stand up for a moment so we could recognize you? Probably most of the audience. Yes, we're really glad you're here. So, before we go any further, I'm going to ask Pat up there to go ahead and play the greeting from President Joe Harroz and also the land acknowledgement statement.
Hello, I'm OU President Joe Harroz. It is my honor to welcome you to this year's Neustadt Lit Fest, sponsored by World Literature Today. At the University of Oklahoma, we are incredibly proud of World Literature Today's literary prizes and special events. And thanks to the Neustadt family, for more than 5 decades, Neustadt Lit Fests have been an occasion for students to learn from the best writers from around the world. This year's prize winner is Cherie Desmoulins, a member of the Georgian Bay Métis Council of the Métis Nation of Ontario. A rising star of young adult fiction, she's a novelist and short story writer of the first rank. In the Neustadt tradition of acknowledging the highest achievements in world literature, she is on campus to receive the 2025 NSK Neustadt Prize for Children's and Young Adult Literature. We know she will inspire our students and others who are interpreting her work and tracking her amazing success. We thank you, Cherie, along with scholars from OU's Native American Studies Department who are here to make this event an enriching experience for all. In many ways, the Neustadt program and its celebration of literary voices from across the globe embodies our university's fundamental purpose: to change lives. We are grateful to the Neustadt family and World Literature Today for making this important tradition possible, and we hope you enjoy this year's festival.
Long before the University of Oklahoma was established, the land on which the university now resides was the traditional home of the Caddo Nation and Wichita and affiliated tribes. We acknowledge this territory once also served as a hunting ground, trade exchange point, and migration route for the Apache, Comanche, Kiowa, and Osage nations. Today, 39 tribal nations dwell in the state of Oklahoma as a result of settler and colonial policies that were designed to assimilate Native people. The University of Oklahoma recognizes the historical connection our university has with its Indigenous community. We acknowledge, honor, and respect the diverse Indigenous peoples connected to this land. We fully recognize, support, and advocate for the sovereign rights of all of Oklahoma's 39 tribal nations. This acknowledgement is aligned with our university's core value of creating a diverse and inclusive community. It is an institutional responsibility to recognize and acknowledge the people, culture, and history that make up our entire OU community.
Okay, again, welcome to the 2025 Neustadt Lit Fest. This conference is showcasing the work of Cherie Desmoulins as the winner of the 2025 NSK Neustadt Prize for Children's and Young Adult Literature. The culmination of this 3-day conference will be on Wednesday evening. At that time, at a banquet given in honor of the Neustadt Prize winner, World Literature Today will award the NSK Neustadt Prize for Children's and Young Adult Literature to Cherie Desmoulins. one of the most acclaimed young adult writers of our time. The goal of this Lit Fest is to create a cultural context for appreciating Ms. Demeline's work. In so doing, these events are showcasing Cherie Demeline and are a living testament to the power of literature to enhance our understanding of culture everywhere. None of this would be possible without the support and generosity of the Neustadt family. They have literally made all of this possible with 2 prizes and the conferences that we put on. Kathy Neustadt, where are you? Could you please stand up so we can thank you for making all of this possible? And I want to remind you that Green Feather Book Company is set up out there. They are incredible. They're going to be here all week. They're a community center as well as a bookstore, and just do so much for Norman. It's a distinct pleasure to introduce Professor Laura Harjo and 2 students who are in her course that's focused on the work of Cherie Demeline. Professor Harjo, Chair of Native American Studies at OU, will make a few remarks, and then the students will offer their presents to Ms. Demeline. Please welcome to the podium Professor Laura Harjo, Winaya Yates, and Michaela Taylor.
Mado, Hitche, Laura Harjo, Chaha Chifkidos, Yaha Hulgi Amalegidos, Tuskegee Yamatelwidos, Duke Harjo, Tate Malman, Ellen Harjo, Church Kulgerwagas. Hello, everybody. My name is Laura Harjo. I am Muskogee. I am Wolf Clan. I'm from Tuskegee Tribal Town, and my parents are the late Duke Harjo and Ellen Harjo. And I just want to give a warm welcome to Cherie Demeline for coming all the way out here to Oklahoma to be with us and receive this award and be in dialogue with us. We're so honored and so happy to have you here. And the welcome is on behalf of the OU Indigenous community, the NAS department. So this planning started about a year ago, and so just a little backstory. I was at Institute of American Indian Arts, and I saw your book, and I checked it out, and then I had never read it before. It was Marrow Thieves. This is probably sometime in the 20-teens, and I just really loved it, and I felt like I really needed to teach this. So it has the Neustadt kind of title, but our subtitle is Indigenous Futurity and Kinship. So all through the class, we have been focusing on just that and thinking about dreaming, thinking about consent. We've read 6 of your books: Marrow Thieves, Hunting by Stars, Empire of the Wild, Vinco, Anthology of Monsters, and Red Rooms. And I want to say on behalf of the students that this is truly a collection of honest witnessing. And I feel like it's so courageous, and I feel like the students have learned so much from your writing and seeing what this honest witnessing looks like, because we see ourselves, we see our relatives, we see our community, and our students need that. Like, we're often hyper visible, but maybe we feel like our bodies and our stories don't belong in some of these spaces. So to be able to read a whole collection of books, and we read a book a week, and I'm so proud of them because they came with it. They read it, they came with reflections, and it's just been really exciting teaching this. And I just kind of wanted to say too that I feel like the one thing that has really stood out that I keep hearing myself echo to the students is from Anthology of Monsters and Lee Maracle kind of challenging you of like, who do you stand for? And when I read your words, I hear your grandmother in your words. And I feel like I keep returning to that when I talk to our students and when things get rough. And it's like, who do you stand for that all your fear goes to the back of the room and your courage comes up front and you don't care. It's like, who and what do you stand for? Do you stand for your grandma, your grandparents? And I know for a lot of us in academia, like Indigenous folks, you know, I've heard our coming to stories. They've really like embraced the idea of coming to stories as well. But that, yeah, these coming to stories often are bound up in like a pivot point in our lives that maybe we lost somebody that we loved. And it's like, oh, they didn't get to see me like go and like do this right. So like I've heard pivot points around that. And so that thing of like who and what do you stand for is like just, it's so important for our students to hear. And, you know, even that was like a really honest piece of like what you grapple with. And then kind of being able to see that in the stories and understand it in ourselves. And so some of the things that the students came up with, they've really gotten a deeper idea of medicine and story as medicine, what medicine looks like in movement, in practice, like really understanding medicine, but then what does it look like in practice? So for Muskogee people, Ano Getchka is love, but it could be like, how do you operate in service of caretaking to one another? Madowe, that our professor Dustin Tomakara often talks about that. That's like the embodied knowledge or the medicine that we carry, that only we carry that medicine and we have to offer the world. So the idea of, I can really see it coming through in the students writing their Madowe that they bring. And then Gadugi, that's a Cherokee word for working together, which we see so much of it even with like Frenchie and Maidkin and Riri, and that activating love and grief in the students and feeling like they were part of that family. But some of the things that they really kind of touched on, monsters as companions that teach boundaries, story as medicine by naming how memory steadies the heart, reframing monsters from horror to guardianship, identifying care routes that move people, and then micro practices of this sort of medicine, pausing, naming, breathing, and then those operating as teachings. What else? Leadership, what does it look like for governance, consent, lineage, and futures? The idea, again, of this honest witnessing and translating hurt into design and thinking like forward what kinds of futures folks want to make, create. Sound is medicine. Yeah, so they really got so much, and it's so multi-layered, but I just wanted to share a little bit of that with you all, and that's kind of what we got into. And I think one of the biggest things that came through were like the sassy matriarchs in the stories that maybe they meandered. I'm thinking Stella from Vinco, and then they show up with this major wisdom. So I just kind of wanted to give an overview of what we've been doing in this class, and it's really just been a joy learning from each other and being in dialogue. So I want to turn now to Wanaya and Michaela and invite you to come up. Cherie, they have a gift for you.
I'm so honored. You can't even believe I'm just crying on day one. Geez, you guys, that's what community will do for you, and to you. You know, I come from a hunting family. We're known for our hunting and harvesting, and so protocol in my family would mean that what I need to do now is share a part of the hunt with you. But the border guards had enough trouble letting my Canadian carcass into the country. I don't think I could have carried a deer with me, but maybe next time, or we'll have you up to our territory. Wow. This this award and this gathering means so much, and I need you to know that everything that I have written is first and foremost for us, for Indigenous young people. And that's because you are my beautiful responsibility. I say responsibility in the sense of the word of like that good work that I get to do. And so everything that I write, that I dream, is for you. My success is yours, it's ours, because that's a part of that beautiful responsibility, right? We sit together. There's an artist based out of New York that just came to mind as you were speaking, Professor. His name is Arthur Jaffa, and he's known for doing collage works. And his whole thesis, his whole mandate is to take seemingly disparate pictures and to put them beside each other and overlap them to show the brilliance of Black life in America. And so he always says, you know, his motto is, his mandate is, if you take this and you take that, the places where they overlap are you. And when I think about the world that we live in now and the struggles that we're going through, I think about, you know, the world as one thing and us as a community and the ways that we react and the ways that we can change things. And so if you take us and this world that we're in right now, where they overlap is us. And that is a beautiful future because we have each other, right? That's sort of the, I was talking to Robert yesterday. The silver lining in all of this struggle is that all of our storytellers, all of our matriarchs, all of our artists are pushing forward. And there's all these new stories being born, and there's a lot of old ways coming back. And that's very exciting. I came here from Alberta, and I have to say, I was at a writers' gathering, and that's a province right now that's facing book banning and the teacher strikes. And my books are banned. I know I found out from NBC News not that long ago, of all places, that my books were banned in Montana. And the official statement made was that, the marrow thieves might make non-Indigenous kids feel bad. And so I had two responses to that. One is if our kids can go to boarding schools and residential schools, then your kids can learn about it. And the second thing is that statement didn't come from the children themselves. They came from parents and guardians who were scared. And I think that's a part of the problem. We need to tell our stories loudly and at the center. You know, we are the people of story. We've survived genocide. I did it. I said the G word. I'm going to say it a lot, you guys. We survived genocide, and a large part of that was through holding everything that we needed to be who we are as a people inside of stories, because you carry your stories under your ribs. That was the teaching that I got from my grandmother. My community was relocated several times, and she always said to me, we were on Mackinac Island in the Great Lakes first, then we were moved to Drummond Island, and then when America sort of, when they drew that invisible border that I had to cross, they said, we'll take the island, but we don't want the Indians. And so we were moved again to a beautiful piece of land called Penetanguishene, which is Anishinaabe-Moan. It means land of the rolling white sands. But we're not treaty people, Métis people. And so when that land became really valuable for cottagers from the city, we were moved off of the water again, which was hard for us because we are really connected to that particular body of water. We're fishing people. A lot of our ceremonies have to do with that water. But my grandmother said to me, when you're moved, and when they force you to move, it's often without care. And so a lot of times all you have are, two hands to take everything that you need to be who you are with you. And one hand is for your young people, right? That's your hope, that's your future. And the other hand is for your old people. That's your teachings, it's how you know who you are. And everything else that you need to survive, to know that at the moment of survival, you can still be yourself as a people, you pack into a story because you carry the story in your ribs. So you can take it with you. I also want to say that when I left Alberta to come here, the other writers were jealous, and I'm okay with that. I said, good, you should be. The reputation of this school and this community is incredible. And then I will say that the Native writers that I were with were worried about me. I said, oh my God, you're going to pass that border. Don't say anything. Like, I won't. I'm going to be really stoic. And then when they realized, where exactly I was going, here to this land, then they had a sigh of relief. They said, oh, good, there's lots of Nietzsche's there. There's lots of people, and they'll take care of you. And I really feel that here. And so I don't have deer to give you, but I can give you my love, and I can give you myself. And any story, anything that I can give you is yours. And I promise that while I'm here, I will love this land like I love mine. Thank you. Chimigach.
Oh, thank you so much. That was really beautiful. As an additional present to Cherie Demeline, Asa Samuels has arranged for a round dance, and I'd like to call him up right now. He's a Cheyenne, Arapaho, Choctaw person. He's a senior at OU. He has a dual major in biology and Native American studies, and his passion is the land back movement. Asa, could you please come up?
Halito, Saha Chifoya, Asa Samuels, Chatasia Hoki, Asa Samuels, Na Hasitna, Natasia, Na Hanene, Na Atehino. Hello, everybody. My name's Asa Samuels. As you said, I'm a senior here. Dual major with biology and Native American studies, going into wildlife conservation, food sovereignty, language revitalization. I'm going to keep going. I better stop there because I just want to do all of it, right? I want to do all of it. I'm kind of the same way. I was joking, before I got here, I was joking with one of the elders. Many of you know her, Francine, who does a lot of our fellowship on Monday nights. Her and her husband are out there, and they honked at me. They actually scared me. And so I went up to them. I was like, yeah, I'm going to go in here, and they're gonna give me the mic. I was like, oh, they're going to give you the mic. Yeah, those of you that know me, some people are like, oh, we're kind of worried about this one, but because I'm pretty outspoken as well. And I really appreciate your words, the stories, when we share our stories are now everybody else's, it's not just ours. And that's how we do it as a community. We don't keep anything to ourselves. I always express that through my art as well. I'm a regalia maker and also teach, beading classes and regalia making classes and things like that. I don't know everything, and my way is not the only way, but it's just a way of sharing knowledge that I have to others so they can go out into the world and do the same thing. But one of the main things I always talk about is, we have to do it with good medicine. When you practice your work, you practice your craft, and you make that, you always think about prayers. You think about your family. You think about those good thoughts that are going into that work, because when it's in your hands, that energy is going into that work. So you always do it with good medicine, right? Another thing, I'm huge against capitalism. I teach these classes for free and also supply the materials for free. And that's because I want to make it as accessible as possible for our people to learn so they can carry that on. I've had a few people that I've taught, how to bead, and they were real quick learners. And, just teaching them, where to go and how to do those types of things, they went on and did their own thing by teaching more classes, themselves and carrying on that same thought process that I have, of making things as accessible as possible and being of service to people, because that's what we need in this world. We need good medicine in this world. So I really appreciate the words about the story, and what we're gonna do in here tonight is a round dance. So basically, what a round dance is community. It's about bringing everybody together. It's a social dance. We don't discriminate against anybody in this dance, because in this dance we don't look at your political affiliation. We don't look at your skin color. We don't look at your status in the community. We don't look at how you dress, how you walk, whatever. We don't look at any of that. We don't look at your culture. We don't look at tribe. We want to bring everybody together in this round dance. That's what we do. It's a social gathering. It's all about unity, bringing everybody together. So I wanted to ask my brother here, Anthony Yahola, he's going to be our singer today for our round dance. And anybody that wants to participate in this round dance, you are more than welcome to come up here on the stage. I don't know if you know how to get up there, but there's stairs going through that door and this one right here. So if y'all want to come up and participate in this round dance, you can start. If you just want to sit back and relax, and watch it and then join up later on, that's just fine too. So it's however you want to do it. But I really want to invite everybody to come up and let's, give this gift to our honoree here, Cherie Dameline. And, this is what we want to do for you to welcome you to these lands here. Aho.
Wow, that was so wonderful, so cool. Thank you very much. Drummer, singer, dancers, Asa, all of you who took part in this. Please join me in thanking them for this wonderful thing that they did. I want to remind you of some really great events tomorrow. At 2:30, there's a panel on the work of Cherie Demeline. It's in the Scholars Room, which I believe is what, third floor of the Student Union. But anyway, Scholars Room at 2:30 tomorrow. And Dustin Tamakera, Kim Weiser, Laura Harjo will talk about Cherie Demeline's work. And then, and this is a really interesting touch, I'm so glad she was willing to do this, Cherie Demeline will respond to what she hears on the panel. So kind of scary for them, but it'll be a lot of fun for everybody else, I think. And then at 4:30 tomorrow, the jurors, the Neustadt jurors who are here choosing the next winner that we'll celebrate and have on campus in fall, those 9 jurors are reading from their own work. They're all themselves writers and publishers and editors and translators and so on who could win this prize themselves, and they've agreed to be our jury. So they'll be reading from their work tomorrow. To get the details of these things I mentioned, and you can look at that full schedule that's on an easel out there. And then I would like to invite you all to come to the reception tomorrow night. It's going to be in Baird Lounge, again, in the Union, and we'll have a greeting from Nancy Barcelow from the Neustadt family. Kathy Neustadt will announce the winner of next year's Neustadt Prize, and we'll hear a few more words from Cherie Demeline. So all of that plus indigenous food. You're gonna want to be there tomorrow night. So again, take a look at the full schedule on the easel. Thank you all for being here. There's a lot more to this 3-day event, so look beyond Wednesday. I might as well tell you about this. This is going to be really cool. At 10:30 in the morning on Wednesday, back in the ballroom, the School of Dance at OU will do a performance that they've put a lot into. I think we got a grant to pay for this. The costumes for this dance were done in Mexico and shipped up here. And there's a wonderful choreographer and just a lot of talent that is doing this work put together this work that is an adaptation of the Marrow Thieves. And it'll be interesting to see what dancers are pulled together for that. And I think there's something else or two that I'm just not remembering right now. So make sure you look at the full schedule on the easel. Thank you all for being here, and I'll look to see you at other events. See you later.